All right, let's get into one of our more important plays. We talked about mesh being something that we can build on and that we see being good for us in 2020 and not to pick out a certain play. We think all our stuff works, and quarterbacks, as you go through the progressions, and receivers, as you run the right routes, and backs, you do your job. Obviously, the O-line is going to protect, and we're going to be able to make any of this stuff successful. We have had a ton of success with cross and see that continuing to be a really good play for us. So what I've done here is I've got cross drawn up. And so the way that we break down cross is we can run it out of ace, we can run it out of early and over. All right, the reads there are fairly similar. All right, and then we can tag one of our slot receivers, and the routes don't change a whole lot. They change a little bit, but not a whole lot. But it changes a quarterback's reads, and so that makes it really tough on a defense to stop because they're seeing the same thing on film, and their coaches probably aren't understanding that we're reading some different things. So it gives us a complement within the same play to be successful. So here's our general cross rules. I've got ace cross right drawn. We call cross right because we want the cross going to the right. So coming from the left towards the right is how we call that. All right, so on the quote-unquote play side, on the right side here, Z's, you're running a streak. You're out of there. Get going, okay? Get on out. We're peaking that streak right there. Wise, we're running a 5-yard square cut out. And on that, Putt was trying to come outside. He wanted to get some love right there, okay? 5-yard square out, and we have got to get really, really wide out there and try to pull any flat coverage, especially if it's a rover out there wide with us. So get out here wide. Don't shut it down until you get to the numbers, okay? Our under Sam over Mike concept is exactly what it is, especially if you think of a 3-4 defense or if you think of a 4-2-5 with that hang defender or that outside backer being out here. We're going to come under that first one and try to climb the second one. We call that under Sam over Mike for those linebackers. Now, the way I have it drawn here, it's a pretty fluid route in terms of it's not exactly going to be the same steps every time. We want to get under Sam and try to get to this Mike linebacker and then have some sort of vertical press to that to make that inside backer, if he's trying to wall us, get over the top of him. And if he's trying to run with us, get vertical and make him think we're going down the field. We're going to get to a point where we're going to snap it off. When we get to the opposite hash, we want to be at least 12 yards. Quarterbacks, if we're hitting a cross, it's got to be there by that hash mark. We're not going to wait and hit this thing out way outside the hash. So it's under Sam, over Mike, and snap it off. Now, the way that our defense will try to play this a lot is they kind of know what's coming, and they're going to try to really get deep and mess up that stick to get across on the cross. If at that point it's time to go, you may have to come back underneath that backer, but you got to be flat once you get to 12 yards over on the hash, okay? Backside, X is right here. You run a 10 to 15 post stop. So yesterday we talked about or when we did mesh, was that yesterday? We talked about a 10 to 15 post dig. So the beginning of that route looks the same, but you get to 15, you pop, and then you're working back to the quarterback, giving him your chest. Back, you are check swing away from the call in ace. We're going to peek the streak and see if we like it right there. We're going to come back to the cross, and we're going to come back to the curl, and then you got the back out there if it all breaks down, okay? Trust your reads on that and go through it. Ace cross left, same thing. Just flip the way the play's going. All right. X, you would have the streak right there. H, you would have the 5 square out and get out of there fast. That's got to be a really fast route. You got to get out there wide. We don't want an outside linebacker hanging here and being in the way or having a chance to make a play if we end up throwing the cross. Cross under Sam over Mike. We got to be able to snap that thing off and get out of that break. Be at 12 yards on the other hash. Z, you got the post stop. Stick at 10, pop, shut it down at 15. Back, check swinging away from the call right there. All right? When we get to our 3-by-1 stuff, I've drawn it up out of over right here. So it'll be over cross right because we want the cross going to the right side. This is a change up for you single side receivers. All right? Cross right for the Z out of ace is a streak. But when we do it out of early and over, in this instance over, Z, you've got the 10 post. I got a little crazy with my 10 posts right there. It's a little bit long. 10 posts stay high. We're reading that safety right there first. Quarterbacks, safety's tight at all. If they're trying to take away this cross with a too high safety look and leaving this safety there, we're taking that shot. Okay? Back, if you'll notice, you're check swinging to the single, so your rules are different. This time, you're going out to the play side. You got to know the difference there. Y is under Sam over Mike. H, you've got the 5 speed out. Don't shut it down until you get out there wide. X, you got the post stop. 10, 15 post stop out there, okay? Progression is fairly similar quarterbacks. We're going to check that safety. We don't like the post. We come back to the cross, okay? and then we can come back to our backside post stop right there, or backside post curl. Okay, the change up here is if we tag, you can see right here, cross right Y or cross left H. Everybody is exactly the same except for the receiver that we tag. You're going to change it from a 5-yard square out to an 8-yard option route, meaning 8 yards and get open. You've got to have a good feel for what the defense is trying to do. So if we have H cross right Y, Z's, you got the streak. Y, you're running 8 yards, and you've got to be able to scan the defense and then attack where the weakness is. If you get manned up, if it's 2-man and or a man free or 2-man and you've got a guy on you, maybe it's a man free and that's a safety, you're going to get to 8 yards, break him off, and square that route out and be ready for that ball. Okay? If you're running and it's zone and that rover or outside backer kind of passes you off and goes out towards the flats at all or flattens out, you can just run an 8-yard stop route. But it's deeper than when we're just running regular cross. When you run cross route, it was just a 5-yard square out. We're going to push this thing to 8 and read it. Is there a time you could come in? I wouldn't say hammer it inside, but you may turn on the stop and have to slide inside a window right there. H, you still got the under Sam over Mike cross. X, you'd have the post curl or the post stop right there. Back, check swing away from the call. Cross right, backward check swinging to the left. Read here, we're going to hang on the option quarterbacks. We're going to see if we like it. We're going to give him a chance to make his move. If we don't like this, we're going to have to come all the way back to the post curl. So the read changes. All right, and cross guys like, man, I'm not going to get this. H, we've got to have a great cross right there. You got to do your job and open up something for somebody else. All right, if we run cross left H, now we're telling the H, you're running the option. Get to 8 yards and decide. I could sit here and tell you I think it's going to be an 8-yard square out, but I don't know. If it's man coverage, I think it's going to be an 8-yard square out. And if it's zone, I think it's going to be an 8-yard just stop. I think you're just going to sit there right in the window. Our defense does a pretty good job of trying to push us on the way by and then sitting out here. So you may turn the corner and realize there's somebody out front and have to turn and snap your eyes to the quarterback. Again, quarterbacks, we're hanging on the option, 3-step, looking at that option. All right, as soon as we don't like it or don't have a good feel for it, we're coming back to that backside post curl, and then we got the back swinging out there underneath that if that's no good. Okay, cross is really, really good. This is something that we like to play action and run cross. We'll get in our 2-back stuff and fake lead. Remember, we call that pork or plow, just a little bit of reminiscing right there, and then we can throw cross off of this, and we've had tremendous success doing that, okay? This is stuff that I think that you guys should be very familiar with already, but we can't be too familiar with it. We've got to keep studying, and we've got to be ready to be successful at this stuff when we get back together. Thank y'all for paying attention.